Silence, for some of us in the modern world, is a luxury. For others, something threatening. For silence brings what is boiling under the surface, something we do not want to hear. Silence was one of the main reasons why I decided to risk leaving everything behind. The job I really liked, good and stable income in London, the beautiful garden that I put a lot of effort in, all to stay in Sweden when I fell in love with its beauty during my journey. This wasn't an easy decision, but one I felt was needed at the time. The thought of going back to London was too heartbreaking, and there are other millions of reasons. People are often afraid of silence. In today's world, we became so accustomed with all the noise around and all the stimulation. For me, silence and solitude are what I crave like nothing else. But still, even I do have certain control over how much noise I surround myself with, having more of a compulsive trait, especially with things I'm interested with and want to explore, I often take in more stimulation than I should. Dark and silent winter allowed me to explore deeper corners of my soul, where I pushed things I didn't want to deal with, perhaps hoping that with time they will magically disappear. But things don't simply disappear. If so far we lived through them, we first must release them. So, when spending the time in this lovely off grid cabin in the middle of the forest, away from the village and civilization, I could give myself and to what was raising within an undivided attention. Around this time, the landscape started becoming dirty. Nature was getting ready to shed what was no longer needed for the new cycle, to make space for new growth, nourishing energy from the sun, and embrace the spring with all its fresh energy and zest for life. It was beautiful to see that life slowly comes back when water starts to flow. But then the winter was coming back again, holding tight, wasn't letting go. And so the winter, cozy feeling and need for more rest, especially after the long period of darkness, was creeping back at times. One afternoon the sun was shining brightly, and so I decided to hang my hammock outside. But of course, by the time I got up to the hill and was ready to hang it, the sun was long gone, covered with thick layer of clouds, releasing gentle snowflakes. Finally, the days of packing, cleaning, and organizing came. It was time to leave. The reindeer started gathering their herds to embark on their usual spring journey back to the north. At the beginning of April, I expected that going south I will see less and less snow, or at some point a complete lack of it. I was even told that at this time of year there is summer in the south of Sweden. But the reality was far from it. Although legally I could already change the tires on that day, it turned out that the further the south I drove, the worse the road became. Make it difficult and really scary to drive. It was snowing for most part. The roads were covered with snow and ice. I could not drive too fast without the winter tires, as the car wasn't very steady on these surfaces. When I arrived to Sweden in the summer, I didn't expect to be leaving when winter was still in charge. With these conditions and over 1200 kilometers of drive to the seaside, I only managed to have about an hour nap in the late night in some forest on my way. And then I had to continue. While I was sleeping during that time it snowed, so I got up with a little panic. Luckily, it managed to leave without a problem. And then, across the sea I sailed. There is something incredibly soothing in the sound of the sea. Being an element that relates to emotions, strongly present in all possible forms from the very beginning of my time in Sweden, water then carried me softly to my next destination, my next chapter. I could look at her free dance for hours. There we are, broken souls coming home. But is it? Is it my home? It is where I come from, where I was born on this earth, but is it my home? I only knew I was sailing south on the map towards noisier and more chaotic way of life. But in life I had no idea which direction I was heading. I was completely lost, like a little drop in a vast ocean.